Welcome to the Pepper Crop Report 2017 at the International Spice Conference, Kovalam. As we all know, pepper prices began moving up since 2010 and has continued to do so till this year. This is amidst a more or less stagnating world production. As we presented in Goa in February 2016, the estimated crop of pepper was 372,500 metric tons, with Indonesia at 52,000 metric tons, Brazil 45, India coming out of a poor season at 32,000 metric tons, Vietnam 160, Sri Lanka 17, China, Malaysia 23, and others 23,500 metric tons. We sent our teams to survey the major countries shown in red. This year, we have included Cambodia. Our first port of call is Indonesia. The major growing regions are Lampong for black pepper and Bangka and Belitung Islands for white pepper in August 2016. We begin at Lampong, where there are two major growing regions, the North Kotabomi region and the Southeast region of Sukadana. This region harvests in July. There are several new vines planted by farmers here, and farmers have replaced other crops like cocoa with pepper. Only cassava and pepper have found favor with farmers in the last 3 years due to good returns. This year too, the crop has been affected badly by drought and yields are poor. This farmer shows us continuous dry weather has led to poor spiking. Moving to the east, like everywhere, we found there is a good demand for planting material. Good prices have rekindled interest in pepper. This farmer near Metro says that the yields this year has been below normal due to the drought. They have hardly harvested 40% of the normal crop this year. This trader in Sukadana says that Lampong is facing a straight second year of poor yielding. Many new vines have yielded, which has helped to ensure a slightly better crop than the last year. Based on our visits, we estimate that Lampong crop for 2016 has been only around 30,000 metric tons, which is marginally higher than 26,000 metric tons for the previous season. We leave Lampong and move to the Bangka and Belitung Islands, which produces the famed Muntok white pepper. Southern Bangka, Northwest Bangka and Belitung are the major growing areas, and we visited all of them. Season begins in September. Everywhere we saw very good yield, and also farmers were expanding their farms. This farmer shows us how we could take cuttings from his vines to plant more vines. There are several young plantations that would come into the harvesting phase this year, like this one. Yielding could have been even better, but there was prolonged dry weather this year, affecting the yield in some parts. This trader expects a higher production of white pepper this year compared to the last year. Mature green pepper is left to soak in plastic bags in ponds like this for 7 to 10 days. The skin is manually removed by washing vigorously in plastic or cane baskets in the water. After separating the skin, the white pepper is packed to be moved to the drying yards. Traders expect the crop to be slightly better than the last year. As they say, many new plantations have also started contributing this year. Muntok or white pepper crop is estimated to be about 18,000 metric tons compared to 16,000 metric tons last year. And Indonesian total crop would be up from 42,000 metric tons to slightly above 48,000 metric tons. Welcome to Sri Lanka. The main growing regions are around Kandy, Matale, Bibile, Monaragla, and Badulla in the Central Highlands. The lower region till Ratnapura is emerging as the new pepper growing region. We saw that the spiking was quite profuse and excellent in farm after farm. Last year, due to lack of timely rainfall, the yields were very poor. Further, rains in April led to loss of crop, leading to a very poor harvest. There was timely rainfall this year, and we expect good harvest in July. Crop has been delayed due to delayed flowering. Spiking has been quite good and we can expect very good crop starting April for immature pepper and June-July for mature berries. Very good spike density again. We receive rains at the right time. And you can see this has resulted in very good crop this year. All the farmers we met during the survey informed us that they were expecting very good crop this year. If they get intermittent showers till harvest, the crop could do even better. Farm maintenance has been good due to high prices. Based on our survey, we estimate the Sri Lankan crop to be over 18,500 metric tons against less than 13,000 metric tons last year. Let us now move to the largest pepper-producing country, Vietnam. The growing regions are in the central districts. Gia Lai, Dak Lak and Binh Phuoc have emerged as major growing provinces. In Dak Lak and Central Highlands, farmers have replaced coffee plantations with pepper. Plantations like this are about 4 years old and entering the yielding stage this year. Farmers still hold old stock even as they continue to plant more vines. This farmer in Gia Lai says that yields are coming down in old vines and he plans to replace them with new ones. Good rains in June-July resulted in good spike density. However, dry weather from July to September has led to irregular berry setting in majority of the farms. In Gia Lai, more new plantations are coming up, and this farmer is preparing the cuttings to plant them. You can see this landscape where coffee plants have been replaced by pepper vines. Everywhere we went, farmers said that rains have been better than last year, although the dry weather in the later months could affect yields. But they expect at least the same yields as the last year. Yields would be the same as last year. But due to new vines and plantations, the output in Vietnam could be higher by about 10 to 12% compared to the last year. We moved to India from here. Karnataka, Idukki and Wayanad are the three major growing regions. Karnataka has recently emerged as the major growing region in India. In Idukki, the major growing areas were covered in the survey. Many tea gardens have been planting pepper around silver oak trees. This farmer says that due to timely rain, yields would have gone higher than 40% of last year. But continued dry weather in later months affected the yields. He still expects yields to be 30% higher than last year's. This trader in Devikulam confirms that the yields are going to be more than 30% compared to the last year's. We moved to Wayanad, which last year produced less than 3,000 metric tons of pepper.
Almost like a bumper crop in this area. Now, usually you see only 1 or 2 catkins per branch. Now you can see even up to 5 to 6 catkins and a complete setting of the berries this year.
This is how most plantations here looked in the second week of January. This trader expects Indian production to be as high as 60 to 65,000 metric tons this year. In this plantation in Sultan Batteri, the farmer got only 250 kilograms per acre last year, and this year expects to harvest over 450 kilograms per acre due to the good rains. We now move to Karnataka, where we covered the major growing areas of Chikmagalur, Sakleshpur and Coorg. This farmer says last year's crop was a disaster and expects much better yields this year. We see the spiking and berry formation looks great everywhere we go. Karnataka looks like harvesting much higher pepper this year compared to the previous year. Farmers like him have spent money in sinking more borewells to provide water to the plants to sustain the good spiking. We are a little bit more conservative compared to the trade. We expect the Indian production to be up by over 50% compared to the last year. India should harvest about 50,000 metric tons of pepper this year. We move to Brazil, where Para and Espírito Santos, shown in red, contribute to 90% of the crop there. Other areas are emerging as pepper-growing regions. The northern region contributes to a larger volume and harvests from August to November. The southern regions harvest throughout the rest of the year. Coffee plantations are making way for pepper in Brazil. This year, depleting water resources have contributed to lowering of yields in many plantations. Many vines were lost due to extreme dry weather. The surviving plantations are doing quite well, as you can see from these pictures taken in October 2016. During meetings and farmers interviewing, it was reported by the majority of them nationwide that yield is still decreasing considerably due to El Nino effects in the year 2016. Many new pepper gardens died due to the lack of rain and the depletion of water reserves for irrigation. Farmers continue to plant more pepper vines and many new farms have come up since the last 3 years. In the southern region, the spiking has been good. New plantations are coming up here too. Mechanical drying is used in nearly 50% of the farms. Farmers are now receiving less for their pepper as export prices started decreasing from about $9,200 to $8,000, and hence they have lost interest in maintaining the farms well. Pepper output would have been much higher if water was available. Output in Brazil to be up by just about 4,000 metric tons compared to the last year due to many new plantations coming to yield. We now move to Hainan province of China, which produces the Hainan white pepper. The pepper farms are located in the northern tip of the island. Wenchang, Qinghai, and Qingshan counties taking majority of entire production in Hainan province. Hainan pepper is harvested in June. All the pepper is converted into white pepper locally. There are old plantations which are 15 to 18-year-old and doing quite well. The yields, as you can see, are quite good in these plantations. Farmers normally use organic manure and water availability is not a problem. The plantations are monocrop and quite dense with about 700 poles per acre. Stone poles are making way for concrete poles as they are cheaper. There are a number of plantations between 1 to 1.5 years old up to 4 years old. The crop looks healthy. Farmers are predicting 20% higher production for 2017 compared to 2016. Poor weather and typhoon caused the production to plummet in 2015. Thereafter, the production is picking up due to plantations and good maintenance. The crop for 2016 was 20,000 metric tons. And this year, we forecast a crop of 24,000 metric tons. Our last stop is Cambodia, which neighbors Vietnam and is emerging as a significant producer of pepper. The growing regions are spread along the border with Vietnam. Bong Kumum is currently the predominant growing county. Driving from Pompey, as we approach Memot close to the Vietnamese border, we see several healthy pepper plantations. Pepper is planted as a monocrop on wooden pole supports. Timely rainfall and good availability of irrigation water have ensured that the yielding would be much better than the last year. Farmers were expecting a good yield of 5 metric tons per hectare or even more. Most farms were flush with pepper spikes and healthy berry formation. This farmer owns 4 hectares of plantation. He has 2,000 poles per hectare, which is higher than in Vietnam, where it is only 1,600 poles. He expects better yield than last year, as there was dry weather last year, which affected his crop badly. His vines are nearly 4 years old, and he expects to get about 10 metric tons from his 4 hectares in 2017. Plantations are well cared for. The farmers here plant about 2,000 poles per hectare, as against only 1,600 in Vietnam. This also contributes to higher yields. Area under pepper has been continuously increasing over the last 3 years. Due to the high price of pepper, rubber was being replaced by pepper. Harvesting had just begun, but major arrivals would happen in March 2017. Good yield in new areas would ensure that the production jumps from just 12,500 metric tons to nearly 20,000 during 2017. We come to the end of our survey report. Summarizing, the world pepper crop of 2016-17 would be higher by 20% than that of 2015-16 crop, with major increases seen in India, Sri Lanka, Vietnam and Cambodia over last season's crop.